Okay, cool. I don't care. Let's take a look at everything here. Okay. Another day back. Let's get all these guys sorted and figured out. Okay, let's get some brushes out and get everything done. Okay. 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 Okay, new brush. Let's get this blended. Get going. Okay. All right. Welcome everyone. Apologies for my shoddy display. I'm having a little bit of trouble with my lights. But got a couple of guys up here that I need to get done. Hey Nail. And if it donated $500, what would I do? I mean, hey channel. If I got 500 randomly, I'd probably just use it to buy more stuff, just so that way I could get more of these guys, so I could do more content, build and paint. It's kind of really it. Hey, wow. Because so far, any money that I make from my sponsorship or any money I get from doing this, I just use it for just getting more materials so I can keep doing this more frequently. Yeah, it's Warhammer. Thanks, Sibel. Yeah, Salvage. This is Warhammer. This is my Palatine. The thing is that I do Sisters of Battle. I don't like most of the heads that the Sisters of Battle come with. So I went to Etsy and I bought some unofficial heads. So it's just a bunch of essentially sister-size heads with berets on them. Because Games Workshop doesn't really do female faces well. So I wanted to get some better face sculpts. Apparently that would make it so that I can't bring this unit into a competition or a tournament. But I'm not really painting for tournaments. I'm painting just because I like making the minis. If I'm really worried about tournament stuff, then I'm kind of screwed either way because I like to kit bash too much. One of my favorite minis that I got done recently, we don't have plasma rifles for the Sisters of Battle. This is just something I kit bashed myself by carving and rebuilding. So I couldn't bring that into a tournament anyway, but I have her because I like her. Are you talking about the Paragon war suits in the back, the Sacrosanct, or the Palatine? Because I got a lot of these guys, mostly Sisters of Battle because I like them. Oh, and I also got a tank off to the side that I'm still building. I haven't finished that at all. But yeah. Anyways, so that's that. How have you guys been doing today? I've been trying to be as productive as possible, and now I'm just really tired and excited to do this. Thank you, Sing. Just gonna do a quick feathering so I can make sure I get those gloves. I always forget to do the gloves. Thank you, Stephen. Sleep? It's only 10:24 where I am. I'll go to sleep later. I also normally work nights, so I'm used to being up and awake until about 2 in the morning anyway, so this is mostly just me winding down for the night before I go to sleep. Just trying to get some of these guys done. And I haven't streamed in a while, and I miss streaming, so doing that again. Oh, I always sound tired. That never changes. I always sound tired. It's just kind of my voice at this point. You used to be a YouTuber. Oh. Lose the spark for making videos, gave up, or how do you mean used to? Okay, I'll let that dry for a minute. Now for this one. Oh, hey, James, how's it going, man? I've been gone for a bit, but good to see you back here, man. How have you been? I'm all right. I got internet running back up on my house again, so I can finally stream again. And I'm just working on trying to get a few projects. Like this monstrosity of a helmet, taking her on because I need to fit her into this. I got a little excited and bought an exorcist. So I have that I've been slowly building up inside. Yeah, if you want to see a finished piece, let me get the one that I just finished recently. So for the ones I finished recently, this is the most recent one I did. I didn't like the pose that the default Seraphim and Zephyrim are, because it's supposed to be that they're, in the sky, upright. I didn't like that too much, so I kind of got her moved and having it so having it so she's doing a flip over some coral while lining up her shot with a plasma pistol. So this is the most recent mini I finished. I'm really proud of how all of the highlights turned out on the cloak. I need to fix my light. My desk light kind of died right before I got this all going, so I need to get that replaced. But overall, this is the most recent one I finished. I need to get better at doing skin color, because I'm not the biggest fan of how the skin color on this one turned out, but it's work in progress. I do like how the plasma glow looks on the gun. I like the pose, and I like how I kit bashed everything. Took a little while, but I like her a lot. So I have her there. For better a look at the robes and the color scheme I go for, I've got my Canoness, where I try to have purple highlights within a darker purple with the shades in the recesses. I might. I've considered it. I'm not. I'm a little bogged down just with the current job I have, so there's only so much I can do. But I'm trying to get a little bit more experience and practice in before I start trying to do commission painting, because I'd like to try it, but I also want to have a better repertoire for kit bashing. I want to get better with my paints, and I also want to expand my paint catalog and library because I don't have a lot of certain colors. Because I am biased towards the colors I enjoy, and that in itself is kind of difficult to balance. So, working on it as best I can, but for now, my main concern is just getting these guys done. Oh boy. I'm gonna get as much of this helmet, a little bit of, because I really want to highlight how that works. Because this helmet's so insane to me. And I'm kind of on the fence if I like it or don't like it. Because it's weird. But I don't know. That's just where she's at for now. If she doesn't fall over, that'd be very helpful. But I also need to get going on some of these guys too. With this one, I definitely want to get a little bit more of the purple done. I want to get the recesses shaded in a bit more. I also want to get the highlights reflected. It's going to take a while though. Thank you. Oh yeah, that's fair, James. That's fair. That's kind of why I'm on the fence with the helmet. Because on the one hand, a helmet is supposed to have a stained glass motif. That's cool, but that's so ridiculously large. But at the same time, once I actually finish building the tank she goes in, which I haven't even primed this thing nor finished building it, but just that alone, with that, and I think like the back with the wings and everything here goes up to like that tall. It's going to be ridiculously tall, so having the helmet match kind of works. So it's kind of that full circle thing. But I also had originally tried to use one of my proxy heads just because, again, I like the berets. I like the berets on the faces. I think they're cool. And with the one that I'm using here, it's a beret with face mask. So I like how it looks, but definitely going to be difficult. It's going to take a while for me to figure out how I want to get it done, but figure it out I must. I think I want to get... Ah, man. I'm going to get a darker highlight in. What inspired me? Honestly, I just like Warhammer. Outside of that, I got inspired to do the paint scheme because I like purple, and I thought it'd be cool to have some sort of Death World ocean-based chapter for the Sisters of Battle. So I started with making these ladies. I really like the nuns with guns motif. I think it's really fun, and I just wanted to see what I could do with it. I'm also just a failed art student, so there's also that. I think I can do a bit brighter. That going down here. I have to get used to actually having a camera in front of me again because I haven't done this in so long. Okay. No worries. I'm hoping to stream again some more. But take care, Sing. I'll see you later. Oh, man. Let's see if I can just readjust this a bit more. I forgot what the golden position was on this having a camera. Oh, goodness. No, I will say, for all the time that I've been away, I've been working quite a bit and I'm just tired. Pulling a lot of double shifts at work, so yay, I can afford to grab a few things, which is how I got the Exorcist and all of my extra Sisters of Battle kits. But, ooh, I would not mind having just some extra time off now that I've gotten a lot of my responsibilities taken care of. I'm just gonna get a base coat on this pole. And I'll just redo the metallic over it once I'm done. Thank you, James. It's all good. It's just part of life. Just get overwhelmed, gotta handle it as best you can and move on from there. I'm definitely not the best at everything. Well, I'm not the best at anything, I'll be honest. But at the very least, take it in stride, go as best you can, figure things out from there. That's all we can really do in the end of the day, even if we don't know what more we can do. Okay. Okay. I will say this pose is probably my least favorite from the Zephyrum box. Cool as it is, it was a pain and a half to get this built. But it was also kind of my fault because when building it, I snipped off the top of the banner here and re-glued it into a different position. Just because... Do I have the box nearby? No, I don't. Nope, I wish I did. Basically, default pose for this mini, she's just supposed to be standing upright, head pointed forward, and the banner is supposed to be tilted more to that way. So I wanted to cut it off and give her a bit more of a dynamic angle. But because of that, it was a pain and a half to glue in. Understandably, the thin plastic does not meld together well and does not like being cut and re-glued together. So it can be like that, but it is annoying just because, again, I don't like the default pose for the Zephyrum. I'm sorry, crap. I didn't know what to expect, but that caught me off guard. Just you. Sorry, man. As soon as I got internet running back in my place, I wanted to stream again, so working with that. Me too. Almost got an army just filled with them. Ah, that's fair. But yeah, so this pose is wonky at best. I kind of like it, but it's also difficult. Then hold on. Since I got it, glad I'm up for it. So since I'm here and since you guys are here, I should probably explain why I haven't been streaming because I have a phone, and if I pay for internet, like I couldn't pay for internet, why couldn't I stream on my phone? This is why. As you can kind of see, the LCD's broke on my fucking phone, and chat normally shows up at the bottom of the screen when I stream. And so the issue becomes I can't read or moderate chat if I have that broken part of my phone. So, yeah, that's kind of why I've been mostly radio silent. Yeah, it's a flip phone. I had the Samsung flip phone originally, but it died on me earlier this year. And it died on me between paychecks. So I got that phone that I currently have as a free upgrade, and hey, the other phone lasted me for 4 years. I had the Flip 3 for 4 years, no issue. It died on me between paychecks. That phone I got was a free upgrade because, again, I was between paychecks, I didn't have money, and at work, we use our phones, our personal phones, to communicate with each other while on the floor. We don't have walkie-talkies or anything, and we kinda need to be able to do that. So, it was kind of an issue not having a phone, so I just got whatever was the first free upgrade. You wanna know how I broke the screen? You know what happened? I will recreate the situation that had my phone die. My phone was like this. My water bottle, which it's the Poggers one, it was empty. It was after work at the end of my shift. It got tipped over while empty, smacked the screen, and it caused that line. So, I can say the Samsung flip phone was pretty good. It lasted me years. The Motorola Razr, garbage. I do not recommend this phone. If you're ever looking into flip phones, that is not the one to go for. That's all I really have to say on that matter. And yes, I am extremely salty about it because, one phone was significantly better than the other, and now I'm stuck with the inferior one. However, the Motorola one also just lagged on me continually. So, again, it is my fault. I got it because I was desperate and I needed a free upgrade while between paychecks. Ah, yeah, I had the Samsung Flip 3, and that one didn't die on me until the very end, but it was 4 years old, so any phone that's 4 years old, especially a flip phone, I kind of expect to die. The 2024 Razr Flip is just an embarrassment. However, I still play Uma Musume on it despite the missing screen, which causes issues. I have made some mistakes while training my horse girls because I couldn't see the screen properly. But yeah. So, I don't have a new phone because I'm still trying to pay off my current phone, and then I'm gonna get a new one. But I went to a phone repair place today. They asked me what they could help me with. I brought it out and said, "Yeah, I know it's a bit of a long shot because it's weird, but I have this phone and I was recommended by you to you guys that you might be the ones who would be willing to fix it." Lady at the counter immediately went, "Yeah, I'm sorry. With how complicated and expensive the parts are for those phones, we don't fix them." Yeah, I saw that crap. I remember you talking about that, yeah. I just haven't been all that active on TikTok like I should be, because I do have videos I post on there, and I probably should post a bit more, but I've just been so bogged down at work that I really haven't on social media all that much. I haven't even checked Instagram, and I used to doom scroll on those reels all the time through reels all the time. Ah, no, stop that. Oh my gosh. I enjoy having a wet palette. I do not enjoy hydration paper. I swear this garbage is. I'm certain there's people out there who enjoy hydration paper for the wet palettes when painting these, but I'm gonna be honest. I really don't like hydration paper. Mostly just because as soon as the water gets over the top of the hydration paper, everything gets saturated. Selling Left 4 Dead. I actually need to play Left 4 Dead. I've never been able to play it before. It's always been on my radar, and it's one I want to play. Just never had the chance. Then and growing up, everybody told me that if I was going to play Left 4 Dead, I need to have a set group of friends to play with, and haven't really had the chance yet. I'm hoping to, but I'm also going to be the idiot who just who throws in so many mods that's unrecognizable as a game, because mods make everything better. And the fact that I can play as Pickles Cage already has me sold. Okay. Get the highlights redone. Really? Under 5 gigs? Wow. I kind of wish I actually had an older console. My mother owned most of the game consoles when I was younger, and she got rid of them. And now that I'm an adult, the only one I have right now is a Switch and a Switch 2. And, I have things to say. I might do a stream tomorrow for Metroid Prime 4 because I need to get footage for it, because I'm writing a review about why I'm disappointed in Metroid Prime 4. I had fun playing the game, but it's definitely something, that's for sure. And I also just desperately need to tell the world my thoughts on the aim mechanics. No worries, James. It was good to see you again. And hopefully, like I said, now that I have internet back and I'm able to do this, and I also have less shifts at work to do, I am hoping I can stream more often, especially because I really want to make sure that everybody can see the insanity that is everything. If I wanted to, or backwards compatible for Xbox One. Huh? Confess your degeneracy. Hold on. Let me start with the best one. To confess my degeneracy, the best way is how I was an accidental degenerate. So, for Magic the Gathering, I bought a deck box. These were the images that were on the promotional image. Back of the box. I did not know it was there. I did not know that was going to be it. However, I am not apologizing because that is phenomenal art. However, there's also, that's the card to separate my deck. So I use that to separate from my extra cards in my commander and the main deck. So I've confessed part of my degeneracy right there. I may or may not have an entire list on Etsy called research memes, which are me just looking at pinup models that I want to try painting so I can get better at doing skin tones and painting skin color. We don't need to worry about that, though, because one, I can't paint that on stream, and two, what I decorate my room with is none of your business. But yeah, that is my Monster Musume deck box for Magic the Gathering. Again, did not know it had the lewd picture on the back of the box. I am absolutely more than okay with it. If you say so, Crab. I'll have to send you a picture of a picture that one of my friends gave me for my birthday. I got an Uma Musume painting Oh, you're in my walls? Oh. Oh, then you already saw the Uma Musume stuff. Never mind. I think I'm just gonna do this. Just gonna brighten it up just because we can. Now I just need to darken everything here. Yeah, that is the color scheme of my army in general. Just purple. So, now that I think about it, the purple is definitely grape. What would you go for the green then as a flavor? Because I'm not entirely sure what I would say would be her flavor. But the green is definitely a major part of my army's color schemes for the weapons. Mountain Dew? Okay, fair. The base is not finished? Which base? Unpainted green stuff. Oh, are you talking about? Oh no, this is all purposely painted. This isn't green stuff. This is just a resin cast I got. I painted the rock and the resin though green, just as a contrast from the purple. Yeah, this is just Lauren Forest and Skarsnik green for the green on the resin bases. These ones I wish I could take credit for the texture being purposeful and me making it. I didn't do any of that though. These were painted I bought off of Etsy because doing a lot of ocean themes. So I just did it as green just to try and have all of that as a contrast to the purple. I haven't even actually used my green stuff yet. I bought some like a month or so ago. But why? I mean, I can see why is because for oceans, people think of brown for the sand. I just wanted something a bit more contrasting because I thought Alien Ocean would be cooler to have green. I'm not 100% sold on having it be green, but that's just kind of what I was going with at first. That's fair, that's fair. Like I said, I'm experimenting with the bases. Mostly just because I'm not sure how I wanna go about it with my infantry. Because when it comes to most of my stuff, I have a lot more fun building bases on... Hold on, let me move these guys out of the way. Ah! Oh my gosh, I just snapped off the banner. I spent like 5 minutes talking about how much I hated having to reposition the banner, and there it goes. Son of a bitch. This banner is so not worth the effort I'm putting into it. Okay, you're going over here. Might be a pile of shame thing I deal with later. Because normally with my bases, I do a lot more stuff on it, but most of them are also just green. Because I like having the green for it. But I don't know. Like I said, work in progress. Gotta figure it out. You know what? That's fair, Survivor. That's fair. That's fair. Like I said, I'm just trying to... I'm in between. Because originally a lot of my basing ideas and ocean world theme was based off of Subnautica. And so I was trying to lean more into a green side of things for my soil. Mostly just because the death world that the Dark Krakens come from, which is my original army, they don't have a lot of lore on what the planet itself is like. So it's been a little difficult to build up all my stuff. Because I don't know necessarily what the official world looks like. Because I don't have any of my finished ones, but for my partial finished one, I've got a lot of dark... My first army was Space Marine Dark Krakens, and that's what I've been working with. But I did lore and forest for all my bases. So, I don't know. Basing is an art in itself, and I've definitely been struggling with it. Just because I've been indecisive, both indecisive and committing to different ideas. Some of which are definitely not the most reliable. No. No, the only tournament I participated in, I took roughly fourth place in. So, no, it doesn't win me tournaments. However, I didn't even enter a Warhammer mini for that painting tournament. I entered Quelaag. I've actually never done a Warhammer specific painting tournament. I did an all minis tournament from Shark. If anybody knows who Space Shark is from X. I was in his Discord for a little while, and I participated in one of his tournaments. But no, I've only been painting for a year. I don't know what day I originally started on, but it was in January of 25 is when I first started with painting. So I'm mostly playing catch up to most other people here. Yeah, fair enough. I'm also trying to work on faces because I'm not the best at it. Hold on, let me pull up. Because the most recent one I did was this girl for my army. And I'm not the biggest fan of how the face turned out on this one. She looks a little too dead. And so that's definitely one that I want to redo. I'm going to leave her as is just because I want a reminder of where I was when I did it. But I'm definitely trying to work on getting that face done more. However, it's also really hard to... As my excuse, I didn't have a very thin brush. So trying to get the Reichland flesh shade over her face was a little difficult. I specifically went out today and bought like 5 different pinpoint brushes just so I could do that because my brush wasn't up to it. Oh. Yeah, edge highlighting is something that I've been trying to work on. I've been buying a lot of monsters in D&D that have chitin on them, just so I could practice more. Just because having larger things to practice for edge highlighting has helped me focus up more. But like I said, I've only been doing this for a year, so I'm still going to be making some beginner mistakes here and there. Though I do appreciate the tough coaching. I've got no idea on that one, Survivor. I'm very interested to see when any of that's happening. But I'm also I'm part I'm one of the Americans that kind of more just says, I don't really care much about what's happening in the rest of the world. I care about what's happening in my state. And in my state, we have some issues that I would like to see dealt with just because we've been invaded by Californians and I'd like the Californians to leave. Like I don't care if like sure deport the illegals, follow the law, obey the law, whatever. That's a thing. I would like us to deport the Californians back to California. I mean, I've definitely heard a lot of calls from England on different things, so I'll keep you guys in mind. Because I definitely know England has always been a topic of conversation here in the US about anything. But I am not entirely sure when all of that's going down. I would like for it to happen soon, just because I'd rather things happen than not happen. Because momentum in anything is always the name of the game. So if we're actually going to do something, I'd rather we do it sooner rather than later. But I'm also kind of one of those people who says I'll believe it when I see it. And for the past while, I've just been talking with a lot of people about Venezuela because I used to live in Mexico and I met a lot of people from Venezuela. So I've spent a lot of time talking with people from there. So seeing the back and forth in American politics with the invasion of Venezuela, it's not, I wouldn't even really call it an invasion, more of the extraction of the president because we barely stayed in there. But we extracted the president. It's better to call him a dictator, but officially he was called president. Went in, got the dictator, got him out, and every Venezuelan I know was cheering for when that happened. I used to live in Mexico. I was a missionary for 2 years for my church. So I spent some time living there. And part of my ministry was I taught English as a second language, and I also tried to focus on whenever the topic of religion came up, I would try to get people to read the Bible more often because my soapbox as somebody who is a convert to Christianity in general is that, everybody talks about how the Bible is such a beautiful book that has the answers to life, the universe, and everything, and just about nobody reads the thing. So even if I was talking with people who weren't of the same faith as me, I'd still be like, hey, read it. Let's read it together. Please, I beg of you, learn what you actually believe, you know? So I used to live in Mexico. Then the pandemic happened and I lost my visa. So I had to leave the country. So I went back to the US. I did enjoy it. It was a good place. Granted, I lived in cartel territory, so definitely things to criticize about living in cartel territory in Mexico. Don't get me wrong. I lived in the only double red state. The Bible has more verses condoning violence than the Quran. I haven't really read too much of the Quran, so I can't say. So I won't be able to comment too much on what the Quran itself says. But yeah, the Bible does condone violence. The Bible condones it under certain conditions that have to be met. Each time it is situational, but those situations always involve, are you preserving your own culture and people? And is it a threat that's coming from the outside that will destroy you? That's for the most part where all of it comes from. Then there's the promised land, but promised land nowadays in modern politics is such a hotbed topic that ugh, I it's so hard to have an honest conversation about that without some ideologue running and going, "It was promised 3,000 years ago," or "No, no, 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 it's bad as colonialism." It's like, okay, but we're talking about religion, not politics. There's a difference. Hey, go for it. How have you been, man? Yes, as a religious zealot, I will never shy away from talking about my personal beliefs. So it's very fitting that the Sisters of Battle is my favorite army for 40k. because I'm as zealot in real life as my army is in their fiction. Granted, I don't think I would match the zeal of the Sisters of Battle any day. They are much more zealous than I am. Gonna move that to the side. Oh. Sorry about that. That was something I didn't expect. But yeah. Anyways, let's see. Oh, Hell is in the Woman, Jesse Lee Peterson. Hey, Binge Meister. I don't know Jesse Lee Peterson, so I'm not entirely sure. I will. How goes my night? It's been good. Now that I finally have internet at my house again, I can stream again because I don't know if you saw it earlier, but so the reason why I couldn't stream for the past month is because that happened to my phone, and I can't moderate chat or look at things on my phone while I'm streaming if that's just how my phone looks. So I'm kind of screwed. So I got a few replacements going, and now I'm hoping once everything's said and done, I'll be able to eventually work with all my extra shifts at work. I'm hoping to buy a document camera or something so I can stream from my computer rather than streaming from a phone, just because I don't mind streaming from a phone, but it's definitely not the best for camera quality. And better quality means people can actually see what I'm doing better. Because for anybody who saw my original painting streams, to say that quality is shoddy would be giving me a compliment at best. My OG streams just did not have quality at all. So it was really hard for anybody to see anything. I'm surprised so many people subscribed from those streams. Like, of course, thank you for your support, don't get me wrong, but hot damn, how did y'all see that? Because I don't even use those for editing. Because I can barely see what's happening in them. But yeah, overall, night's been going pretty good. Today was the first day I had off in a while, so I've mostly been trying to wind down, just relax, and handle things. I'm also putting off building this anymore because I still have a lot more pieces to put on before I can actually paint it. But I'm not putting on the back attaching it just yet because I want to paint all of this with an open window first. So I have that. But to appease myself, I'm painting her before I throw her in. So I'll at least have her on the side so I know how she looks. But I also need to finish painting everything. Got my Palatine here that I'm very excited. I got a bunch of heads that I bought off of Etsy as replacement heads. Because Games Workshop's Sisters of Battle heads are okay, but not the best. And so I got some of these. I also have another set of heads coming along my way. But I still have, I think I've only finished one. Yeah, I've only finished one of my box of Sacrosanct, so I need to finish my Sacrosancts and get them done. Because the closest one I have ready to do is this one. And I still need to finish getting her shield touched up. But I've got my Sacrosancts that I need to do. The Paragon War suits I built up, which kit bashing these things was difficult as hell. Like, it was a fun challenge, don't get me wrong. But I'm not surprised I don't see a lot of people doing anything with these. Because trying to kit bash and get them to actually work is really difficult. Where is... especially this one. Like, on my old phone, with the broken screen, I tried using the new YouTube Shorts creator app to kind of explain, but because I was kit bashing this one and I changed the position of the arms, I had to change how the tube worked. So I went back on this attachment and I snipped it all off and into sections to reposition, re-glue. So this entire section is completely different from what's supposed to be. And you can kind of see right here is the roughest spot of the connection because that's just the best I could make it do. Because I would just be snapping the plastic if I put any more stress on it. But overall, fun kit to build, but very monopose. Not fun to... if you're like me and you like kit bashing even on your first box, it's really not flexible. Yeah, that would be the way to say it. It's very inflexible on posing and doing. It is what it is. And yeah. Oh, before I forget to ask, how did your stream go at the end of it, Barbecue? I was in there for a little bit, but I got distracted because I was working on a... well, I was working on a Google Doc because I got called to give the Sunday school lesson in church on Sunday. For the purple, it is... hold on, let me pull up the bottle. So it's Imperial Purple. What I do is I will mix it with Corax White, so that way I can get a good base coat on it. And then with the lighter part of the purple, I can get a decent highlight. And then just get a super thin Imperial Purple and glaze it over so that the highlights aren't too bright afterwards. So, yeah, just Imperial Purple. I get it from the Amazon Imperial Purple set, which has some really good purples. I've used every single one of them in different ways. I don't have all of them because I'm missing 2 of them right now because I've been traveling with my paints a lot. But Amethyst, Witch Purple, Violet Vamp, and then Purple Hex. All of these are really good purples. I like them a lot. I use Witch Purple as my base, as the rim for my bases, just because I like how it contrasts with all the other colors I normally use. Went pretty well. We got the second to last achievement. Really? That's exciting, especially for Plants vs. Zombies, because I remember going for some of them back in the day, and they are not easy to get. So that's impressive, man. I can see tedious, yeah. That makes sense. Okay. I'll try to throw a few highlights on this. Gosh dang it. Okay. This is going to drive me insane if I don't. Man, I never would have imagined I'd have to deal with this garbage. Sorry, for anybody wondering what's going on. My hydration paper decided to act like it's supposed to and get bogged down with water, but it's gotten bogged down enough that it's just letting the water from the rest of my wet palette thin out all of my paints too much that I can't actually use anything. So just fighting a losing battle with my hydration paper. I don't know why. I would have thought with how much people told me hydration paper was like the go-to move for wet palettes, I would have I expected better, quite honestly. Because everything I get with hydration paper really just does, it gets too wet after a while. It really screws me over. Honestly, I don't know, cause I went from using a poor man's wet palette where I got a plate, some paper towels, and then parchment paper that I would just get wet and then use. Hydration paper is, like, something that came with my wet palette when I bought it, and when I asked around with a few of my friends who paint, it's like, "Hey, how how does hydration paper work? Is it any different?" My what I've noticed is hydration paper just gets bogged down with water, and it lets too much water in for my taste. So, for example, just gonna turn my camera a little bit. You can kind of see the aftermath of the monstrosity that I've cleaned up, but this was not underwater earlier. This was all above water, and I haven't added more water. I've taken water out of my palette, but the hydration paper got bogged down, dipped, and then all of a sudden all of this is now really thinned out to the point that I'm struggling with keeping a consistent consistency on all my paints. I'm using it because it came with my wet palette, but I don't like how it's been working with all my stuff right now. So, once I finish using up all of my stuff, I'm just gonna go back to doing parchment paper on my palette just because I like how it worked better. One achievement from 100% of my game, but it's hard because I still have the Zen Garden to complete. Oh, yeah, the Zen Garden definitely takes a while. I like the Zen Garden, though, as a mini game. I never 100%ed the game, so I don't know how the Zen Garden truly factors into it. But I remember the Zen Garden was a nice mini game. I liked it. But I would imagine it's a different beast if you're trying to actually 100% it. Yep. Gotta keep grinding away to get them. It's a lot. That's fair, Jonathan. I've never used the army painter once, so I'd definitely be willing to give it a shot just for the sake of trying it because, again, I've only been painting for a year now, so I'm not an expert by any means. I am just a random shitter trying to learn how to do this. So, any hints or any guidance from anybody with experience is always something I'm going to listen to just because y'all know more about this hobby than I do, especially because there are people who enter my chat going, "Yeah, I got 40 years in this hobby." And so I learn a lot by talking with everyone here. But it definitely takes a while. But yeah, I'm no expert either, but I just like how parchment paper kind of makes it difficult for the water to move around. And so it's easier for me to just grab some water and thin out my paints without having to worry that I super thin out the paint, that I just lose consistency. I'm just going to even coat on this. Yeah, that's fair, man. You still got more experience than I do. I just got a hyperfixation at the beginning of last year, and then I've just been going ever since. think I've got... I think I'm in a place where I can stop messing with her cloak. Then... for the tank driver, I really just need to go back to glazing. Get everything subdued again. Ah, that's fair. I got a friend who has a massive resin printer, and he showed me he has just about every mini file from Warhammer on his computer, but he doesn't build, paint, or do anything with Warhammer, which makes me laugh. I'm like, you could get an entire free army. Well, not free, he would have to pay for the materials, but you could essentially get an army for pennies. And here I am buying the official models because I haven't yet bought a printer. I want to buy a printer. It's one of my goals for this year is I want to buy a printer because I also want to start doing character modeling, because I want to start working on just getting some stuff built up. Because I originally started painting for D&D, but I got into Warhammer because of course I did. Oh yeah, for sure. I agree with you there, Jonathan. But yeah, one thing is I want to make some custom minis, because one thing that I think would be cool is in D&D, I modify some monsters on the tabletop. Like, I will change giant spiders and how they work to be more representative of the Visorak from the Bionicle series. And if I could get actual scaled giant spiders, but Visorak, so they're giant mechanical spiders, that would be so much cooler to have represented on the tabletop. And then, of course, I'd like to offer those STLs to people, but it'll take a while to get the modeling correct. I also probably should do something with this one because I've been struggling on what to do with her. I think I need to switch to Skarsnik green on her. Also, this mini pissed me off because these two legs have broken off multiple times. It's kind of why I took a break on her. I really should finish her, but haven't done it yet. I also need to finish this guy, because for the most part, I just need to reapply my Balthazar gold on him, because I did orange paint, and then I did Balthazar gold as a overcoat just to have it be like an orange metallic, but have not done that yet. Modeling minis, I have dabbled in Blender. It's powerful but very complex. Yeah, that's what everybody tells me. It's worth learning, but it takes a while to learn. So that's going to be a project I tackle eventually. Yeah, that's fair. To repose some of these minis would be an absolute godsend, because one thing I've not shied away from talking about is, hold on, let me pull them out. This one, because I'm pissed at her because I just snapped her banner again, which I don't even know where I put that banner piece. Probably should find that sometime because I have to reglue that bitch. But reposing the banner without having to snip off and then reglue and then fix every time it snaps off again would be godsend on this mini especially. But the Zephyrim in general, like, I like the idea of Sisters on Winged Jump Packs, but these poses just suck. They're all about, like, I mean, I don't have the official box. Like, I don't have the box anymore, so I don't have the official artwork of them. But let me find the minis that I have. Oh, wait, here's the box. Like, all of these ones, It's just them being upward. These are all boring poses to me. All of them are just there. It's static. So I've been kit bashing the hell out of these girls. So for this one, she's just supposed to be up like this, which is an okay pose, but I just focused on using a clear stick to have her somersault, well, essentially vaulting over something and lining up her shot with a plasma pistol. I like this pose a lot more. It actually makes it look like her mini's in motion and doing something. But again, the Seraphim poses just aren't that interesting. This one I just have her posed because I'm going to glue her to her base so she's like this. I don't know if I have... There it is. So I'm going to glue her onto this piece of coral so that she's more like coming down and evading an attack. Well, dual-wielding bolt pistols because I've got some damage on her visor. But I just don't like their base poses that much. And so if I was able to mod and just enter into the program and just change them ever so slightly, it would be an absolute godsend for getting these ladies built and painted, because as it stands, I definitely don't want to do another banner because the banner keeps snapping on me, and you know, I don't like having broken minis. I like having them in one piece and working. But yeah, I want to do a lot of the bionicle monsters, or Rahi as they're technically called. Once I get a printer, I want to start stealing some video game models for them and just turning them into minis so I can print them off, because Bionicle as a series was really cool. Fighting the Rahi and all the Visorak especially just make for better giant spider fights, because when you have giant spiders with armor and venom that will permanently alter your physical appearance and body if you don't succeed on the Constitution saving throws, it makes for more interesting gameplay in D&D. So that's definitely what I'm trying for. Thank you. Been trying my best to figure out how I want to do purple for these girls. It's been taking a while to figure out. But so far, I've gotten to the point where I'm just going to pull out a few of the ones that I have finished. But for them, I kind of have an idea figured out on what I want to do for them. Just Iron Warriors and Balthazar gold for the metallic parts, then Moot green with Uriel yellow mixed in, just to have some sort of contrast to green on them. This is what's turned out the best for me when experimenting with purple, just because I wanted, again, purple for my robes. And that is what I've been working on. Though I also need to get better at figuring out, because to one of my friends who also paints, he told me that I put too much of a plasma glow on this one. I just wasn't sure because how vibrant to get the plasma in an enclosed space like that. I wasn't really sure how well the light would work. So I might have put too much on there, but that's just kind of what I've been working with for these ones, is either plasma or just having some sort of look. But that's just what I've gotten done so far. These girls are going to take me a while, but I've been enjoying trying to figure out some sort of purple scheme for them. Now, where did I put that vaulting one? Oh, there she is. Back on my castle. I'm printing an Eldar army. Well, as a third party, I'm trying to lock in a color scheme at the moment. That, I can see that being difficult, yeah. However, if it's Eldar, I don't know. For me, I've always seen really interesting things with green Eldar armies. So if I were to suggest anything for color schemes, I would say some sort of green as the main color focus and just go from there. Because every time I see Eldar, they're always like bright colors, but I never see anything like a darker green, unless if it's dark Eldar. But that would be my only idea. Ah, fair. Okay. Oh yeah, you have tried to green? Okay. Okay. Darker towards the bottom, definitely. Oh, guard main too. Ooh. Oh, yeah, Jonathan, I can see that. Oh, I do like speed paints a lot. They do help. I do enjoy them, but yeah, especially as a guard main, that I'm dabbling with guard. I want to get a kill team Krieg box. However, getting a Krieg box, I'm not going to build Krieg. I went to Etsy and I ordered a bunch of the Feelinid mini heads because until Games Workshop descri- comes out and says what they look like, I'm just going with the Feelinid heads I like from Etsy. So I'm making Etsy detachment so I can get a Kill Team Krieg box, but instead of Kriegers, it's just Feelinids with long coats. Because I think that would just be more fun. But I'm also not sure if the canon has anything for what the official Feelinid colors are. Because I know that the Felinids are in the guard, but I don't know too much about like what they are or what their colors are from the home world. I just know that Games Workshop, last I checked, Games Workshop hadn't decided if they were cat girls like anime or furries. So we're either getting Disney's Robin Hood or we're getting weebs. I win either way because I'm fine with either one, but I know some people are definitely going to be very invested on one way or the other. Yeah, that's fair. That is very fair. I like the Krieg look more than the Cadians. But yeah, the Krieg are hella expensive. It is. I don't know if I, even if I met somebody who I think would be the perfect fit for Krieg to build an army, I don't know if I'd tell them to go all in. At the very least, I tell them, hey, there's some third party stuff on Etsy so that if you're interested, get some of those too, just to save you on the cost of minis. However, I'm also the person who I don't even know if there's anywhere that does games in my local area. I just paint for the sake of painting because one day I would like to go take my army to a game and to a tournament, but here in Oregon, I have not heard of much. However, more and more game stores are getting 40k minis in them, so I'm assuming one day we will have the chance for it. However, that will be a while. And until then, I'm just going to keep going with what I've got and what I'm doing. I need to get a lot of this onto my wet palette. Because I need all of this for the armor, especially for the Paragon War suits. Gonna have to use a bunch of this. Probably gonna have to buy another thing of Iron Warriors. A diet that absolutely sucked. Honestly, no. I've there have been times where I've restricted myself on what I eat, but I've never done a dedicated diet. Like right now, for how I've been losing weight, I have a job that has me running on my feet for about 8 hours. After that, I go to the gym and then I lift weights. And my normal diet consists of meat and rice. I would like to add vegetables, but I just don't have the money to add vegetables. But I just do rice bowls. So meat, rice, couple of spices, but I make all my spice mixes from hand because I need to make sure I don't have sugar in them. And that's just what I've been doing, and that's how I've been losing weight and gaining some muscle. Outside of that, I haven't really done a dedicated diet. I'm told I should just because it's good for my health and it's something I should be doing, but I I'm getting by just fine doing anywhere between 11 to 25,000 steps in a day and then just hitting some weights afterward. It's kind of all I needed to do. It's been taking a while, but that's kind of just all I've done. I remember you saying on stream that you were doing a carnivore diet now. Has that been difficult? Because I can imagine it would feel heavy after a while. At least I would think so. Such a weird experience. I can imagine having a diet that unbalanced, heavy, but I'm still hungry a lot. Yeah. That's kind of way with the diet I did. I just did rice with meat, so that way I have a amount of meat in my system, so that I always recover from whatever weight weightlifting I do. But the rice definitely helps with just keeping me feeling full for a consistent amount of time. When I was in cross country, I learned from my coach that there's two types of energy that you get from food. You have long-term energy and short-term energy. And one thing that you want is to be able to balance both of them. So that way you keep a consistent amount of energy while feeling full. Of course, again, with cross country, we can't feel heavy just because you're going to run slow if you feel heavy because you're going to move slow. But that's kind of just always what I've applied to for my life and how I've done diets. So, with a carnivore diet, what kind of meats have you been focusing on? Because I am really curious. I had a friend who was on a carnivore diet last year. He hasn't really changed since he was on that diet. So for him, I don't know if it's just because he would snack too much, but definitely did not do much for him. Red meats primarily. Ah, chicken and fish occasionally. Fair, fair. I definitely prefer red meats just because I like the taste of beef better. Eggs and cheese too. Okay. Well, I am glad that you have some cheese. I know I would go crazy without getting cheese. But that's interesting. I think I might do Balthazar gold for this top piece here. Oh, fair, yeah. I've been doing the same. I have found that going to the gym helps, but I've found that most of my muscle growth is done most efficiently when I don't use a machine. Like, the less machine, the better it seems for my muscle growth. So I've been doing a lot more bench press and dumbbell stuff, but I've stopped doing I used to do a lot on the shoulder press machine, but I kinda stopped doing that just because I could get better results doing a shoulder press with dumbbells. Yeah, maybe, man. I'm not entirely sure how it all works. I just know that I just try to I mean, the thing I've always told people when anybody asks me about or whenever I've talked about weight loss with people is do cardio if you enjoy it. Because cardio will help get some weight burnt, but if you don't lift weights, your body's gonna burn what's most fuel efficient first, and it'll burn your muscle first. So any amount of cardio you have to mix with weightlifting, so that way your body just doesn't burn your muscle away first. And if you don't like cardio, I would say just to warm up before working out, 10, 15 minutes on an incline for like for me, when I go to the gym, I normally I go on some sort of treadmill. I do max incline and I just walk for at a decent pace. I'm speed walking on it, but I do it for about 10, 15, 20 minutes, and that gets me warmed up to lift better. That's what I hear too, is that weights are the best option for men. But of course, at the end of the day, losing weight is all a numbers game. So burning extra calories definitely helps. But of course, when it comes to cardio, do it if you enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, do a little bit to warm up, and that's all I would say. Just because, again, cardio is not everybody likes it. I like it a lot, but I also I have an absurd amount of muscle definition in my legs and nothing in my chest or back. And so if I'm gonna have muscle definition easy and built up from doing cross country and running most of my life, I'm gonna have something to show for. So my calf muscles especially are my pride and joy when it comes to my muscle definition, but I also want to have my torso built up so that way my arms can match my legs, especially because very few people are looking at my legs. So if I want people to think I'm actually decently strong, I need to make sure I get my torso done. Yeah. I'll probably yep, that's me. I attributed it to the fact that growing up, I did a little bit of break dancing, but I did a lot of hiking and running, and so all my muscle mass built up there, but I never built anything up into my arms and my torso. I tried doing a pull-up, like, 2 weeks ago, and despite the amount of muscle I've gained on my body and the fat I've lost, I couldn't do a pull-up. Now, I've never been able to do a pull-up before because when I was a kid, I would just do a crunch, get my legs up, and I never pulled up with my arms. My arms just held me in place while my abs and my legs took over. So I never climbed correctly. So that's kind of one of the motivating reasons why I try to work so hard on my torso and especially my back and my arms when I'm at the gym is those are the places I was always lazy about using. And now I actually want to get them built up so I look decent. Okay. Oh, my back. Ooh, yeah, I can see that. I can imagine. Honestly, I do not envy you on that part. I know I'm just getting over having a flu, and that took me out from work for a while. However, I wasn't on a diet, so when I got sick, I treated myself to eat junk just because I really wanted a break from how healthy my diet had been. Okay. Supposed to get easier, but I hold off for a couple of months. I mean, I hope so, but at the same time, I could not say. I have no experience on that one, so I will defer to your experience. Flu pushed back the original intended start date from last Friday to this Monday. Ah, gotcha. Okay. Getting some stuff done, but oh. I will say, I tried using a new paint on this power weapon. I don't know how well it shows up on the camera, but it's supposed to be a color shift thing, so a bunch of particle effects. It really didn't show as vibrantly as I hoped. So I'm kind of sad. I I was in a painting Discord a little while ago, and so I asked, well, tried talking about it because I'm like, hey, this really doesn't work as well as I thought it would. And then somebody came back and said, hey, best way to do is to use as like an effect for this is already a metallic object. And so if it's already metallic, you put it on top to give it effect. But I was really hoping just for a single coat and calling it good. Did not work as well as I hoped. And I don't like the color effects too much. I'm gonna find a use for it sometime. Because I've got 6 different colors. Because it was a Christmas gift from one of my friends. But definitely I was definitely disappointed by the coverage of this paint. But I also just need to focus on getting through my pile of shame because I am far behind on everything I both want and need to do. Anything anime wise that you're excited about this January? Not really. I haven't been paying attention to anime. The most recent anime that I've watched that am making videos on is Solo Camping for Two is one that I'm really excited for. I watched My friend got me hooked on the series as it was coming out last year. It finished recently. Absolutely phenomenal anime. It's a love story about adults for adults. And so All the characters, they're adults, they feel like adults, they act like adults, they talk like adults. Really good anime, but I don't see anybody talking about it. So that one I am screaming from the high heavens about to get people to watch, and I'm making a video about it so I can continue pushing people to watch it. Because, I got decent views with my Call of the Night video, but I need more people to watch Call of the Night, and I need more people to watch Solo Camping for 2. I also need to get caught up on Uma Musume because I got to season 3, then I got busy at work, and so I hit a wall. So I need to get caught up. I need to finish season 3. I need to watch the movies, and then I got to get through Cinderella Grey because Cinderella Grey has got 2 seasons already. I'm really curious to hear what your thoughts are when you finish season 2. For me, they went in a direction I did not expect. I liked it, but I would have never been able to predict where they're going, which made me laugh because what I said in my video is so dated by what season happened in season 2 that I'm like, damn. My predictions were wrong, but I'm not mad because I like how it turned out. Oh, but JoJo's Part 7's coming out soon, right? Aren't they doing Steel Ball Run? I think I saw an ad for it. So we're finally getting Johnny Joestar. So, oh, it's in March? Ah. So I'll be excited because Steel Ball Run was good. I liked it a lot. Diego, the Mexican dinosaur transforming vampire, super fun. Funny Valentine, best president. I would absolutely vote for him. But outside of that, I don't know much about new anime. I think isn't Freyrin getting season 2 this year? I haven't actually watched Freyrin yet. I need to, especially now that's getting season 2, so I need to get caught up. And then I know there's some other anime I've been following that are getting more seasons this year, but I have not kept up. It does? Oh shit, I'm really pushing it then. I wish you luck, Crab. I wish you luck. That is why I paint, is so I can relax. Because I stress out everything else. Which is funny because this hobby is also hella stressful at times. I like doing this. It helps me calm down. But as shown earlier, if you want my blood to boil, this motherfucker. I'm going to have fun painting her sword and finishing her model. I think she's going to be display only because that banner keeps snapping off. And I'm going to be perpetually mad about it. I will probably die mad about that banner, not going to lie. Just with how much it's wronged me. Which surprises me, because I never thought that I'd get absolutely styled on by a banner of all things. Oh, I also have a new mini that I got for D&D that I need to show you guys because I'm excited for. It's a traveling merchant on a big-ass snail. I just saw this on Etsy one day and I went, this is so weird and goofy. I love it. So eventually I'm going to paint her up, but she is in the backlog. Because for now, I want to get more of my Sisters of Battle done. I have a pile of shame, and I have the friggin' pipe organ missile launcher. I need to get these done. Because my pile of shame keeps growing. I even have an unopened box of Space Marines that I need to get through. Is it right here? Oh, yep, here it is. Yeah, for my Dark Kraken army, I got an Inceptor squad because I already have my assault intercessors that are jump pack flyers swimming underwater. Tell me that could not be a perfect scuba helmet for an underwater flying army. So yeah, I got this box because for the Dark Krakens, that just seemed like the perfect one to get. So I got it. Building 3 armies at once is not smart, but I like how it shakes things up. I say 3 armies as if I don't have a fuck ton of Skaven. Speaking of which, yeah, I need to redo this guy because I don't like the effect that the algae green had on his purple robes. So I need to redo him. Okay, I'm gonna put this brush down though, because I get I need to get these Paragon war suits. You died? I'm sorry, man. Sounds about right though. You were left for dead. I'm sorry, that was a bad pun, but I couldn't stop. The helmet reminds me of a bomb squad helmet. Yeah. The Inceptors just have armor upon armor. That's kind of like their whole thing is it's supposed to be like the Mark 10 armor is supposed to be like super heavy armor that isn't Terminator quality, but it's still defensive. But I haven't messed around with it too much. Okay. Yeah, gluing these onto bases firsthand was it's gonna be difficult to paint this right. These minis are so busy. Boiling 18 eggs, not my favorite way to cook. Oh my gosh. I wish you luck on your sanity with that one, Bulb. That Sure, it's time efficient. However, I got a Costco card today, and I immediately bought $100 worth of meat, sliced it up, put it into quart bags, and then threw it in the freezer so I can divvy it out between rice bowls for the next month. Keep them in the fridge. Fair. I'm not mad you made the joke. I'm mad that I didn't think of it first. that that's understandable, Crab. That's understandable. Gosh dang, this. Well, yeah, because time efficient maybe for the eggs, but still, that's a lot of eggs. Are you at least going to do an egg salad sandwich? Or are you just doing hard boiled eggs for the sake of hard boiled eggs to mix with other things? You can't? Oh, man. I could try a type of egg salad that uses a carnivore diet version of mayo. Yeah? Just don't forget the cayenne pepper. That is my family's secret to making good egg salad is we threw in cayenne pepper while mixing it. Gave a better taste. Also a nice little kick to keep you awake. Of course, no bread. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, egg salad sandwich without bread. Gosh dang, it's I would not be able to manage your diet, man. You've got my respect for doing it, because I could not manage. I'd go insane. What came first, chicken or the eggplant? Most likely eggplant. We just didn't name it eggplant till after we knew of chickens. I love cayenne. It's actively one of my favorite spices of all time. Waiting for week 6 to add back spices not named salt. Oh my gosh. Your dedication is admirable, man. Oh my gosh. Again, I would go insane doing what you're doing. I don't think I'd have the willpower to do it. Okay. Yeah, if I ever do Paragon war suits again, we are doing sub-assemblies because painting all this is so crowded. We named the eggplant too early. Oh yeah, because they don't look like eggs after they grow. They look like eggs as they're budding and flourishing, but they turn purple and swollen when they actually ripe. Yeah, eggplants are just weird. I also think I'm biased against eggplants. That they do. But I think I'm biased against eggplants because I've been forced to try a lot of the vegan recipes that tell you to use eggplant, like eggplant lasagna, and it tasted okay, don't get me wrong, it's not abysmal, but if I had the option of eating a raw onion, which I would kill myself over, or if I had to do vegan lasagna again, I'd probably I would be looking at that onion thinking, maybe I was too harsh on you. Eggplant dips are good, but using eggplant instead of pasta for lasagna, that's a new experience. One I was not ready for. I don't mind it, but I don't know if I'd ever want to willingly do it. At the very least, not the way that that person prepared it. I'd probably modify the recipe myself if I was ever going to do it, just because a lot of people just really overuse sugar and everything. And it always throws me off because food tastes too sweet when other people make it for me. And I always feel bad if I taste like a lot of sugar in people's food because, you know, cook how you want, use what you want, don't get me wrong. I just can't deal with excessively sweet like foods. And so when I'm eating at somebody's house and all I can taste is sweet but not flavor, it's like, oh yeah, this is good. Mm, it definitely has taste. I just feel disingenuous because I'm like, man, I don't want to lie, but how am I supposed to tell them this only tastes sweet? I don't taste anything like any actual flavors. I like raw onion. I don't know if it's the taste or people's reaction when I eat them. Knowing you, that makes a lot of sense as a conundrum. Like, my guy, I love you like a brother, but yeah, I either one is a valid option when it comes to you because it could very well be both. I can do raw onion and tacos. Occasionally, I can do raw onion if it's mixed with other stuff, but I don't normally like raw onion. Especially by itself, I cannot do it by itself. Because street tacos, yeah, throw on some onion and cilantro. However, that is thinly chopped and fine with a 2-to-1 ratio of meat to vegetable. So I'm getting more meat and a garnish of cilantro and onion on top of it. So it adds texture and flavor, but it's not overpowering to me. A lot of people just throw in onion and it's way too overpowering. They throw in too much for me. Raw goes in my mouth. Don't worry, Crab. As long as you only say it to your wife, I think you'll be fine. But I don't know. Raw onion is not something I normally do. Caramelized onion, I will pound that down. Throw that on my burger, throw it on everything. Caramelized onion is phenomenal. Raw onion, I will allow it situationally. Depends on how you use it. The winged onion are raw. I don't know why. That just maybe it was what you were intending, but I hear winged onion of raw, and all I can think of is that's like some sort of Yu-Gi-Oh god of Egypt card that just got turned into a culinary like abomination. I like red onion and yellow onion. You know what? You would know the difference between those flavors. I can see it. Winged Dragon of Raw is a god card. Oh, that's right. Now I just want to see a Winged Dragon of Raw turn into Winged Onion of Raw. It's just a raw onion that's been cut up and like posed and styled so it looks like the Winged Dragon of Raw. That's just cursed enough, but kind of a perfect shit post that I kind of want to see that as like a custom card somebody makes. Okay. There's a big difference. Oh, I'm certain there is. You would know all about it. Better than I would, that's for damn sure. I if I want an oniony flavor, for some reason I prefer leeks over onions. Because leeks and onions have a similar taste to me, but for some reason I like leeks better. Granted, every time I use leeks, it's in soup. Really? Yellow onion is the best for that? Chiding. Yep, I knew you were going with it. Have it with some duck. Yep, okay. Okay. I was wondering if I was being schizo or picking up on something there. I've been watching a lot of Parrot 4chan videos recently, and so I couldn't tell if I was just being schizo, seeing Farfetch and thinking of the Pokemon. As soon as you said have it with some duck, I'm like, okay, yep, chiding. Red onion is better with barbecue. Okay. You know, Crab, I'm probably gonna ask you for like an entire diagram on onions. Because if you do like them this much and you already have some of this, I feel like you would absolutely have the best way to pair and prepare it. So I'm kind of curious if you have an entire like spreadsheet you could send me. Isn't Chiding the trade Farfetch from Gen 1? Yep, it is. Chiding is the trade Farfetch you get in Fire Red and Leaf Green, yeah. In Vermilion City. I wanted to say ding ding ding, but all that came out of my mouth was Chiding. I'm like, okay, I am brain rotted, but gosh dang it, I can't even make the right noises now. Leaks, oh Miku. Well, I have leaks because I have a Redwall cookbook. No idea where it's disappeared to. But one of my favorite shrimp soup recipes calls for leeks and onions that at the bottom of the pot, you throw some butter at the bottom of the pot, and then you soften the leeks and the onions. You don't cook them. Soften them, then you add in your water, and then you add in the potatoes and everything. Let it simmer, and then you add in your shrimp and everything after the fact. Really good recipe. Highly recommend it. If anybody's interested in getting a nerd cookbook from a children's fantasy book series, but I promise it's got some phenomenal recipes. Oh, that's right, you do. I'll be honest, I did forget that, yeah. That's on me. I am a food hobbyist. I like to experiment with different recipes, and I like to talk to people about experimental recipes. Because sometimes people come up with something that's brilliant or absolutely just a culinary abomination. And I can never tell with most people. Really? Okay. I reconnected with one of my old friends last year, and I know he was working in two different kitchens, so I was planning on asking him if he knew any good recipes I could steal, just because it was his job. But I never actually got around to it. I should probably message him and see how he's doing. He also used to run a YouTube channel. He stopped editing videos, but he was fun to watch back in the day. Because I did watch his videos. I thought he was cool. Yeah, I've made up my mind. I'm going to bother him after stream just to see how he's holding up. I also should probably end stream soon because I'm supposed to wake up early for my brother's baptism tomorrow. Because he asked me to give a talk, so I got to be there not only before the service starts, I have to make sure that I have some thoughts prepared that are appropriate for an 8-year-old. Especially because I got to talk on the Holy Ghost, so who knows how that's going to turn out. Though I will say tomorrow most likely be streaming at least once or twice. Ketchup on Pop Tarts, bleh. Why on earth would I assume you tried this? Why on earth would you try this? I did not mean to stab you. I'm so sorry. But why are we putting ketchup on Pop Tarts though? Look, I like Kirsha Verstal, don't get me wrong. I think she's a fun streamer. Why would you do ketchup on Pop Tarts? Ketchup on eggs makes me go blah. I'm with you there, Volpq. If I'm throwing any sort of sauce on eggs, it's gonna be like a spice sauce like Tabasco or Cholula. I can't do ketchup. I can't do ketchup on eggs. I know some people can. They're welcome to do it. I can't. Just I don't know. I don't like ketchup that much. Which is ironic because when I have a decent physique, I plan to make an update post on my lifting, and part of that is going to be dedicated to Kirsha because, as the floor meme goes, I lift for myself and virtual women. Okay. No Alana? I do like Smug Alana. I like Smug Alana. However, I don't know Alana's food takes that well. Kirsha, I know, is the desk ketchup fox woman who has me confused. Because like what you like and all that, don't get me wrong, but she doesn't refrigerate her ketchup. Okay. Oh, I didn't realize I had her head tilted to the side. Oops. Well, too late to fix that. Okay, so doing fine there. Man, painting those keys. I never tried ketchup on Pop-Tarts, I'd rather die. Okay, well, so then I have to ask where you got the idea for the abominable thought of ketchup on Pop-Tarts. You typed it in chat, so where did this come from? I was about to end stream. I refuse to end stream until I hear more about why this evil was typed into the world. I will not let you escape this heresy. I am playing the anti-heresy faction and painting it on stream. You are not getting away with heresy. Stupid pictures people post on the internet like strawberries on pizza. Oh, okay, okay. Strawberries on pizza, that's a Brazilian thing. I'm calling that right now. Saw one of Mountain Dew and cereal. Oh, I've heard of that, yeah. I did. So back when I was living in Mexico and broke as shit, I decided to experiment. We didn't have. So what I need to tell you is when I was living in Mexico, I realized Mountain Dew and ramen. Okay, that one's I'm less hesitant on. I'm more hesitant on, sorry. When I was in Mexico, one thing that so we didn't have milk. Now, I did not like buying milk in Mexico because the majority of milk in Mexico is 50% milk, 50% whatever the hell else they throw in there so they can save money. And in my local area, a lot of the milk was 50% milk, 50% vegetable leftovers. Like I don't remember the exact what it translated into, but it would my friends and I would just Like my coworkers and I would just call it trash milk. And so because I didn't buy milk that often, but we sometimes got real milk and then we did cereal for breakfast. One day we didn't have milk, but I had 50% milk, 50% man milk. It would have tasted better. It was like vegetable, like I don't even remember what the word was in Spanish. I can't translate it anymore. But it was like vegetable something. So yeah, 50% milk, 50% vegetable, whatever. So the milk tasted weird. Like it just did not taste like milk because it was only half milk. So I didn't prioritize buying milk that much. But one day my roommate finished off the milk and I was going to have cereal. So I decided, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to see how this turns out. I'm going to run the gauntlet. And so I did, because I was in Mexico, we had actual Coke. So Mexican Coke with my Fruit Loops. And I am pleasantly surprised. I was pleasantly surprised, and I can say using Coca-Cola, like Mexican Coke instead of milk, kind of worked with Fruit Loops. Sounds like it shouldn't. It kind of did. Was that a healthy breakfast? Absolutely not. But it was a tasty breakfast. Again, I was living in Mexico, so Coca-Cola was more of a priority just because it was Mexican Coke. But yeah, that was one of the worst things. Like that's one of my biggest culinary sins I've ever committed there. Again, we were broke, we didn't have a lot of money, and I used my money to buy Coke and tacos. And that's what I lived off of, especially the tacos. Gosh, if I pick up more extra shifts on this next paycheck in this pay period, I'm probably gonna go out and just buy some taco meat and just make myself tacos again, because I have not had good tacos in a while. I don't know if I should try it based on the praise or judge you based on the premise. Well, here's the thing. I don't know if they were actual Fruit Loops or discount Fruit Loops, because the store I was buying them at in Mexico just had a giant like shipping container. Like it was a giant shipping box, cardboard box with a giant plastic bag and a bunch of what looked like Fruit Loops on the inside. So I don't know if they were actual Fruit Loops. I just know that upon tasting it, Mexican Coke and discount or real Fruit Loops mixes decently well together as cereal. I again, I don't know how to feel about my sin. It is a culinary sin, but it's also kind of probably one of the most American moves I could have made. Oh, I don't have milk for my cereal. I'm gonna use soda instead. Like that's probably some shit people would ascribe to Asmongold. Which no shade, I do like watching Asmongold's content. I'd rather use water. I used water, and I didn't want to use water because in Mexico water is expensive. I don't like Asmongold. Oh, fair enough. But yeah, he cleaned his room. Oh, wow. The Roach King cleaned his room? Good for him. I'm excited to hear that. But yeah, water in Mexico is expensive. I didn't want to go out and buy more water if I could literally walk 20 feet to the store next to my apartment and just get more Coke. So that's why I used Coke instead of water with my cereal that morning. I couldn't believe it. Mainly for his opinions on other races. Okay. Mhm. Okay. The eggs are finished. I'm going to start meandering to Betty. Understandable, man. Like I said, I have to wake up early tomorrow, so I should finish stream soon. It's almost 4 for me. Yeah, you definitely need to sleep. I say that as if I'm any better. My defense, it's only almost 1 o'clock, and I have to be up by 6, so I can still get some sleep. But yeah, I gotta wake up soon, so I do need to sleep a little bit. However, I got distracted by Crab, and then I got distracted with getting these guys painted up, so just self-defeating. I'm gonna cut up watermelon and pineapple. Sounds like a good time. Okay. This one's basically, yeah, I don't want to do any more armor tonight. Oh, okay. I think I'm just gonna call it good there. Mostly just because I do need to sleep. I need to make sure that I'm up and awake so I can attend my brother's baptism tomorrow morning. So, oh, gonna end there. But thank you guys for coming by. Thanks for watching, and thanks for talking with me. Feels good to be able to stream again. It's good to see and talk with all of you again as well. I've missed y'all. Call me parasocial if you want, but I do enjoy actually talking with people. Yep. Have a good night, guys. I'll see you whenever I see you next. Until then, take care.